I welcome you all to this next session of cloud computing. I welcome you all to this next session of cloud computing. Currently, we are discussing various cloud computing platform. We have seen AWS, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, then Salesforce. Today, we will see the brief of Google Cloud Computing, that is the GCP Google Cloud platform. Let me share the screen PPT with you. I hope PPT is visible to you. I have already posted some of the videos and documents, PDF, and this PPT also on our Google Classroom. I hope MCA2 students have gone through that Google Classroom. I have requested many times to all of you to please be the regular visitor to your Google Classroom. All the subject faculties are sharing their valuable study materials on the Google Classroom. Please take the benefit of all that study material. Now we will start with the session. Mark your attendance. Now, what do we mean by the Google Cloud Platform? Now, basically, we have seen the what do we mean by the cloud and all that thing. Cloud is nothing but the online storage resource platform wherein we can do the any kind of computing, wherein we can store, wherein we can use the resources online, like resources, the memory we can use, storage we can use, some of the processor capacities we can use, and accordingly there are some kind of or some delivery models we have seen and discussed, that's a software as a service platform and infrastructure as a service. All together we can term it as a Google or sorry Google cloud platform. Now, what is the specific with respect to the Google? As all of us know, these are the some of the multinational companies we are discussing. Salesforce we have seen, Microsoft we have seen, then Amazon we have seen. These are some of the big giant in the cloud computing service providers. As like in Nasik we have seen and discussed the ESDS Enlight cloud there, and they are one of the cloud computing service provider at the national, even at the multinational international level also. But Google and Microsoft, Amazon, these are the giant cloud service providers at the multinational and international level. Whatever the Google is doing, that is through their cloud platform only. Google is owning many apps and many platforms online, like YouTube is there, Google Sheet, Google Forms are there. Even we can see the many of the other computing platforms are owned by the Google MNC, and they have been rendering their services through the GCP, that is a Google Cloud Platform. We will move further. That what we have discussed, that is what is the Google cloud platform. We will see that what are the services and benefits of that services. Now, why GCP means, in which situation GCP, that's a Google cloud platform, will be superior to that of the other Amazon and AWS or Azure like. Then what is the Google compute engine, as like VM or GC EC2 on the Amazon, they are having the GCE. Then how to create a VM using GCE. Then we will see some of the overviews and demos also of the Google Cloud CLI tool. Now, these are the Google players. These are the companies which are using, sorry, these are the cloud players. These are the, we have seen, these are the big giant CISP, that's a Google Cloud Service for CSPs, Google Cloud Service Providers. Now, what is the GCP? GCP is enables developer to build, test, and deploy application. Even we can have our own website hosted on the Google Cloud on the Google's highly scalable and reliable infrastructure. That is the GCP. It's a set of modular cloud-based services that allows to create anything from simple websites to the complex application. We can create anything using the Google Cloud platform. We can store anything actually. Now, GCP is organized into the regions and zones. Okay, across the world, they have been organized way. Regions that might be any particular continent. Regions are interconnected using Google Global and Mesh Backbone Network, and zones isolated by the deployment areas in the region means under the region there will be the zone, and your resources can be the regional, zonal, or in some cases multi-regional also. Like the website, if suppose you wish to have any website to be accessible in a particular area only, in a particular region only, in a particular continent, suppose in the India only, suppose in the US only, or in the European countries only, you can make use of that cloud computing services offered by the Google accordingly with respect to the regions and zone, and you can implement in that way. That is the zones and regions. As on the our WhatsApp group also I have shared one particular photo that 97% of the data which is flowing online across the internet, it is flowing through the backbone or a wire, main wire connected through the sea. Under ocean there is a one data cable, a very big backbone data cable, and through which that data is flowing. It is not means only the 3% data is flowing through the satellite traffic, and all other 97% data is flowing through the underline or underwater that data cable backbone. We'll move further. That is a Google network, more than a collection of data centers. It has a points of presence at every particular continent. If you go to the Australia, if you go to the Asian countries, then the European countries, then the Russian region, US region, Africa region, everywhere there is a Google footprints are there. That is the Google network fiber. This particular is a Google network fiber, and Google global cache, that's a yellow dot, that's a edge nodes for that Google global cache. That is how that Google network is having their digital presence across the world. Now, why we should use, or any stakeholder, end user, or any particular organization should use the GCP over the other cloud providers like AWS, Azure, or Salesforce, or any other that we have seen in the previous slide also, Giant and other that. Then what are the basic superior points with respect to the Google Cloud Platform? From past 15 years, Google has been building out fastest, more powerful, highest quality cloud infrastructure on the planet. That is one of the parameter for the using by GCP. Then the second is its ability to build, organize, and operate the news network of servers, fiber optic cables with an efficiency that speed rocks the physics on its heels. That's you can say the superiority points or plus points of using Google Cloud Platform. That is how the Google Cloud Platform is GCP is superior than the other cloud service provider. They do have the thousands of fiber miles. They have the fiber miles underground, underwater, and those many thousands of servers that in aggregate add up to the mother of all clouds. That's how they are using the Google Cloud Platform. You can term GCP as a mother of all clouds. Third reason, that when you build GCP, built on the GCP, any application, any resource you build or render through the GCP, you are building on Google's fast, scalable, and highly reliable infrastructure. Then such way you can innovate and iterate the faster, since you don't have to worry about the underlying operational aspects of your business. See, if your underlying hardware resources provided by the Google are so safe and secure and fast and reliable, the way efficient they are, then you need not to worry about what kind of, you can see the resources or websites of complex resources you can run on the GCP. You can just implement them and run the resources as it is very effectively. That is the next point of why Google platform. Now this is the one of the statistical given, that is the Google versus Amazon, GCP versus AWS compared pricing, very expensive, less expensive than the AWS. AWS somewhat expensive compared to the Google. Amazon is somewhat expensive. These are the Amazon instance types. Then this is the monthly subscription in dollars, second column. Then GCP instance type means the compatible one, similar one GCP में क्या है, and its monthly subscription, and we can see it's a less expensive compared to the Amazon. That is how the GCP is superior in costing ratio also, with respect to the price also, with respect to the price in compared to the Amazon Web Services. Then with respect to the technical point, that is a virtual machines fast boot, how the GCP and AWS are compared, boot times are measured in second. You can see boot time taken by the EC2, that is one of the virtual machine, under the AWS EC2. It takes more time compared to the GCE, that is a, you can say, Google virtual machine, and it takes less time. Higher writes, GCE can write, that read write speed are measured per megabytes per second. Higher the number means the faster throughput. You can see it's a very much similar, but with respect to the, you can see the writes, GC is having the competitive edge over the EC2. That's the first bar. GC is up to 150, above 150, whereas EC2 is less than 50. In all other, it's almost similar. Other means read, then persistent writes and reading, almost similar, but the epinera writes, it's a higher. That's why GCP is preferred. Again, one technical point, network and latency time. You can see the latency time taken by GCE is very less compared to EC2, whereas in a network, higher bandwidth is better, and that is mean GCE is having the higher bandwidth. That's why Google is a giant player in the cloud service provider. Now, why GCP? The first one point, run on the Google infrastructure, which is having the global network, redundancy, and innovative infrastructure we can use. You can have the access to the millions of the Gmail users also, and that's why we should have the GCP. That's the one first parameter, that it runs on the Google infrastructure. Second, mix and match services. You can mix any particular service. You can match up with any particular service accordingly with respect to the virtual machine. Manage platform, block storage, SQL data store or no SQL, MySQL, etc., big data analytics, and that's how all the services to your application needs are available under the GCP. The services may be of the kind of compute, storage, or any other service. Third point, that's a performance you can count on. You can have the effective and efficient resources on the GCP, resources like CPU, memory and disk, resources like the network interface, global network interface will be there, and the one major characteristics of the property of the GCP is the transparent maintenance. Okay, that's one of the major point for the using GCP over the any other cloud service provider. Then you can have the 24/7 base or real-time service available for the technical support, and free community-based support also available. Cloud computing services level, that's at the software as a service level. You can have the Google apps like salesforce.com, NetSuite, Lotus, Webfillings, Zoho, Yahoo Mail, Hotmail. These all are using Google Cloud Computing. Then platform as a service, we can have the Google apps like App Engine, like force.com, and For with respect to the AWS, it's Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, VMware Cloud Foundry. Then in the at the bottom level, infrastructure as a service level, we can have the Google Cloud itself. Now we can broadly categorize what are the resources available under the Google Cloud platform in four particular point or in four particular classifications. That's the first one is a compute, storage, big data and machine learning. We will see them in detail in the next upcoming slides. Now compute, which are the compute availables, compute apps are available, compute services are available, compute engine is there, container engineer, app engine, cloud functions. If you are just go to get details of all this, you just go to the setting of your mobile devices anytime. Later on, you can see the setting of your mobile devices and go to the app management. Under the app management, go to the installed tab. Under the install tab, you will see many background apps are running on that Android platform. Android is one of the Google platform, Gmail platform. You can see all of these available or present in that Android install tab or app management tab under the compute, storage, whatever we are currently seeing, data store, the cloud data or big table, machine learning, speech API, translate API, vision API, natural language processing is also available under the big data, BigQuery or data flow, data proc or data lab is also available. You please go to the settings of your mobile devices later on and you can find out these apps available at their particular install tab. Mark your attendance. Okay, we will go to the next slide. Then compute engine like the virtual machines. Compute engines are nothing but the virtual machine hosted on the Google infrastructure, which will run as an infrastructure as a service. Then the app engines, which deploys your node directly to the fully managed platform. That is the example of platform as a service. That's an app engine under the GCP, and container engine under the Google Cloud platform is run like a Docker container. Docker is the very latest concept under the computer science or cloud computing, wherein you contain everything. Everything means what? Whatever the resources required to run your utility, to run your application, to run your software, that resources are contained in a particular container. That resources may include resources like the processor, then the RAM required, memory required for your application, then the storage required for your application, and network interface required for your application under the one container, and then it will run as a container as an engine, and that is a nothing but the container as a service. That is a Docker concept. We will see that in detail in the next sessions. Under the storage, we can have the big table, cloud storage, cloud SQL, no SQL actually. It is not a cloud SQL because cloud might have a structured or semi-structured data. Sorry, unstructured or semi-structured data, then we will require the cloud no SQL. Of course, if you are having the structured data, we will also require cloud SQL. And lastly, that is the cloud data store. It will run find a support for the online transaction processing, that's OLTP system SQL. Then SQL like statement you will be used for the highly structured object. Then cloud storage, so storage immutable block larger than 10 MB such as large images or videos. You can take the example of your Gmail account. Okay, you have been using the Google Drive. Okay, now whatever our Google Classrooms are there, Munja Institute is using the Google Classroom, G.C.P under the G.C.P licensing, academic license it is, and we do have the Google dedicated Google Drive for every class. If suppose you are from the MCA2, then for particularly for the MCA2 there is a one Google Drive, and whatever the resources we are posting on that G.C.P classroom that are actually being stored on that particular G drive or Google Classroom drive dedicated for that classroom. Then the Google Big Table that is under the NoSQL databases scales to billions of entries, and that will be used specifically for the data analytics. Now, these are some of the big data services available like the BigQuery, Dataflow, Pub and Sub, scalable and reliable enterprises messaging middleware, and data processing. That's a Dataproc, Manage Hadoop, Spark, Pig, and Hive at the affordable pricing. All these are the outsource applications. Okay, you can manage that all by using Dataproc big data services. Yes, then the next, that's a machine learning vision API, recognizing the objects in the images. You can on your mobile device only, you can see there is a one new app, Google Earth or Google Assistance is there from last 1 or 2 years. That is the one of the Vision API. You can filter out your photos. Okay, you can find out the photo by identifying, selecting a particular person's photo. You can find out in how many photos that person have been is been there. That is a Vision API. Then the machine learning, build your own machine learning model. Again, go to, you can take the example of your YouTube or your Facebook. You have been posting with the similar kind of your posting data which you have been searching for. That is a machine learning algorithm. Then the speech API, that is a talk to speech or speech to talk, recognizes the speech. You can have the Alexa or Google Assistance voice recording, voice searching, and translate API is also available by using the Google Translator. All these are the under the pricing available offer by the Google, which is very innovative and customer friendly pricing. All these are available for the stakeholder or customers of Google or GCP. They are under the, you can see the parameters like the per second billing. You can use the per second billing, which is actually a real time billing. Then the sustain use the discount. If you have been using GCP for a longer time in a regular mode, then you can avail the some kind of discount. Then compute engine, custom machine type, what kind of compute engine you are using, how much you have subscribed, that also defined by the pricing, that you can also define under the pricing. Then preemptible instances for the cost saving, means whatever the resources or storage available for you, that will be the preempted. Okay, and that's how that 10% storage will be available for that particular stakeholder or customer. That is under the pricing, which is very innovative and customer friendly, offered by the GCP Google. Interacting with the Google platform, GCP, how you can interact, you can have the web user interface of the cloud console, then you can have the REST-based API, particularly with respect to the mobile or wireless devices, then the cloud SDK you can use, or cloud shell can be for the command line interfaces with respect to the big data analytics. Sorry for disturbance. And lastly, that's with respect to the mobile app, with respect to the cloud console, you can use for the Android and iOS devices via the mobile app. Then projects organizes resources. All GCP services are associated with the project that is used to track the resource and quota uses, enable the billing, manage permissions and credentials, and also enable the services and API. This is the regular pattern of AWS also, under the Salesforce also, and under the Azure also. That is how you can have your dashboard. These all are the properties of dashboard. Okay, you can have your own dashboard, using which dashboard you can access your GCP services and resources. That is the centralized console for the all project data. Project means your own organizational data, and developer tools will be available like a cloud shell, test lab, mobile app testing. Cloud resource repositories will be available at a stake of your for the stakeholder purpose and end user purpose. Access to products APIs will be available, and that is like a manage and create project. You can create one project on using the GCP platform, and also you can manage them by using some of the services and resources available under the GCP. SDK include the CLI, that's the cloud tools for the cloud platform products and services. Some of them are like the G Cloud, G.C.P, BQ, that's a BigQuery, available as a Docker image also. You can use the container available via the Cloud Shell also, and that containerize the version of Cloud SDK running on the compute engine instance. That is a virtual machine of the GCP. Identity and access management can be done. Who is able to access, who is privileged to access your resources, and how he can access that, what can he do, and on which resource he can do. All such type of identity and access management can be done by using GCP. Now this is the Google Compute Engine, as like in AWS, Amazon, that there is a EC2. Here it is called as a GCE, that's a Google Compute Engine. High performance virtual machines, they are powered by Google Global Network interface. Pay for what you use. It's a really real time, as we have seen. We are paying per second. Then fast and easy provisioning, 24 by 7 availability is there. Compliance and security, transparent management, maintenance we have discussed, and it's clickable to deploy, means it's ready to deploy. What we can say, the plug and play in some of the hardware devices. The same thing is true in case of GC, that is click to deploy. Just by click, you can deploy that GCE. Now, images are used to create the boot disks under the VM instances. You can have the public images, or you can use the custom images only available to your project, that is a customized one. And public images are all projects have the access and can use them. Image means your data image or data mirroring. Project instances are also available. Each instance belongs to the project. Project can have any number of instances. Project can have up to the 5 VPC, that's a virtual private network VPN. And under that VPN, you can have the number of instances of GCE. That's a Google Cloud. Then the machine type, you can have the predefined machine, that's a virtual machine we are discussing, or you can customize that virtual machine, that's a GCE, as per your own requirement. Machine type can be of standard, high memory. These all are available under the GCE. For the sake of your simplicity and more understanding and awareing yourself, you can have the subscribe version of GCE, which is a free one on the Google Cloud platform. You can try all such things online by using GCP. That's a high memory, high CPU, shared core, that's a small and non-resource intensive, and can attach GPU, that's a CPU, die to more machine types. High memory machines are also available. That's a high memory means you can see the 6.5 GB of RAM per core. Okay, that's the meaning of high memory. That's a virtual CPU. You can say more memory per vCPU. That's a virtual CPU as compared with the regular machine, which is useful for the task which required more memory as compared to the processing. High CPU machines have the more memory per vCPU as compared to the regular machines. Then under the customer machines, if none of the predefined machine types fits your workload, then use the customized machine type. You can customize as per your own requirement, and it will be built according to the number of vCPU, that's a virtual CPUs, and the amount of memory used. That is a customized machines. Now this is the comparison between the EC Elastic Compute Cloud, that's EC2 under the Amazon, and GCE under the Google. You can see the machine types are the share code, standard, high memory, high CPU, high CPU, and comparative entries, technical parameters with respect to the EC2 and GCE. That's how you can compare the Amazon and Google web services. Billing model, all machines types are charged for a minimum of a minute one minimum of 1 minute. After 1 minute, instances are charged in a 1 second increment. Means for the first minute, there will be no per second billing, and after the completion of 1 minute, there will be the per second billing under the GCP. Then preemptible instances mean much cheaper than the regular compute engine, but it might terminate preempted at any time if the compute engine needs the resources and used for fault tolerance. It is majorly used for the fault tolerant application. Will definitely be terminated after running for 24 hours. After 1 day, it will be terminated. That is the meaning of preemptible. Probability of termination varies by day and zone, etc. That depends on how what is the frequency required, and cannot live migrate, stay alive during the updates or auto restart on the maintenance. That's why it is majorly used for the fault tolerance applications only. Then what do you mean by the, or which are the storage options available? You can have the, each instance comes with a small root persistent disk connecting to the OS. Add additional storage option like persistent disk, which can be standard or SSD, local SSD and cloud storage. You might have gone through the SSD world. Nowadays, laptops are coming with the SSD hard disk. And even our mobile devices nowadays are coming with the cloud storage. Then what do you mean by the persistent disk? That's two types of persistent disk are there, standard and SSD. Standard persistent regular hard disk, they are cheap and okay for the sequential access. And SSD persistent means it are somewhat expensive and fast for the random access. Local SSD, we have the higher throughput and lower latency because it's being a local. The data you store on the local SSD persists only until you stop or delete the instance, and it's have a very high lobs and low latency. Cloud storage buckets, it when used when the latency and throughput are not the priority, and when you must share data easily between the multiple instances or zones, then there will be the requirement of cloud storage buckets. Buckets are globally unique. It will have the name, location, and storage class. Cloud storage bucket, more parameter like the multi-regional, regional, nearline, and cold line. Infinite size is also possible. They are flexible, scalable, and durable. You can see the nearline means access once a month at max, and code line means access once a year at max. When there will be archival data to be stored on the GCP, you can use the code line or nearline. And the regional means a frequent access, and multi-regional means frequent access from anywhere across the world. These are the storage types. That is the GC persistent disk versus the Amazon EBS. How you can compare the Amazon versus the Google. Amazon EC2 versus the compute engine. That's a Google compute engine. Virtual machine, machine images, Amazon machine images. Here is the image. 10 preemptible VMs are under the GC, whereas the spot instances are under the Amazon. Local SSD is being used by the Google, whereas Imperial disk is being used by the Amazon. Now, when you need storage for compute and block storage, you can use the persistent. In which case, which particular to use, that is the, you can say the match make is there, match is made, that the document database and NoSQL, then you can use the data store. For fast scanning and NoSQL, you can use the big table. For transaction processing, that's the OLTP, you may use the Cloud SQL or Cloud Spanner. For analytics purpose and data warehousing purpose, that is the OLAP, you may use the BigQuery. Now these are some of the useful links I also posted this Google PPT on our Google Class G.C.P classroom of MCA2 under the topic of cloud computing. I request again to please be a regular visitor to your your classroom and get benefited from the study material posted there by the subject faculties. That is something with respect to the Google Cloud Platform GCP. Here we conclude totally in respect of the first 3 to 4 chapter. Now, from tomorrow onwards, we will see next topic onwards. We will see what do we mean by the virtualization. We have taken some part of virtualization, but now we have to see examples of virtualization. As like we have seen the examples of cloud service provider, Amazon, AWS, Azure, Salesforce, and Google Cloud. Now we are going to see the hypervisor and their particular service provider like Gen. What do we mean by the para virtualization under the Gen? These are some of the technology examples under the virtualization and hypervisor. Then VMware, not particularly virtual machine. VMware is the one company name it is. Then under that, what do we mean by the full virtualization? Then what do you mean by the Microsoft Hyper-V? That's one kind of virtualization or hypervisor by the Microsoft. And that will be the our next means upcoming week. We are going to see and discuss that hypervisors and virtualization techniques and examples under the hypervisors like Zen, para virtualization, VM full virtualization, and Microsoft Hyper-V. As today we have seen the Google GCP cloud service provider, Google as a cloud service provider. Then in the next topic, we are going to see the hypervisors and other points under the virtualization. I'm just recapping the PPT. That is how we have seen that agenda we have discussed today. That is something with respect to the Google Cloud platform. Let me stop the share. Those who have not yet marked their attendance, please mark your attendance. बड़गुजर अपना attendance mark करा please. Your attendance is being monitored at the institute level. And be the regular visitor to your Google Classroom. Download all that videos and try to see that video as a one of the academic study material. We will meet again at the next session. I conclude the session over here. Thank you.